Normally, I don't review plugins that are very big. I mean, I do sometimes, but normally not. Normally, I review plugins that are really small or test them, because I always go a lot into detail about everything, and that makes my videos very long. And I've looked at my YouTube statistics like every proper YouTuber and noticed most people just don't hang out for that long. I mean, certainly for like 40 minutes or so, oftentimes, which is cool. That's more than the usual attention span of a human being, but it's not enough for a big plugin like this. Yet, I wanna try this now. So I know that this plugin is all about this stuff up here, where you can design the rhythms and stuff. But the first thing I did was just enabling the virtual keyboard of Bitwig and just playing the sounds by themselves. I don't know what's going on here, actually, because sometimes when I hit this key, it will correctly go to the rim shot. But when I click on the rim shot and press the same key, it goes up to this. Yeah, when I go on like that, it stays like that. Why did the behavior change when I clicked on a different sample? And why can I not go back to the behavior as it was before? That is not entirely clear. Is that already a bug, or is it just me being weird? Anyway, now I can play through all the sounds. Except that one up there. Seems to be locked or something. Huh. Oh, I think I understand. Aha, I don't even have the virtual keyboard enabled right now, so that means that this plugin has keyboard input by itself. I have to click on this first. I gotta say, sometimes the font is a bit blurry. The plugin, when it was opened the first time, was really small and everything was kind of blurry, and still is. So I turned up the size and now it's looking quite good, even though it's really big now. But I mean, it's a big plugin, so it makes sense that it takes a lot of space. Okay, so when I play that back now, then we hear the beat. But I am not personally much into the built-in reverbs, the room and reverb, which are, by the way, separate for each drum sample. So if you try to turn it down, you have to go into all the samples first and then do that. I don't know if there is a global control for that. I just don't like how they sound, and that makes sense because I think making a reverb that sounds good on drums is really one of the hardest reverb tasks ever. So naturally you want to be very careful what kind of reverb you put on your drums, and that's why I don't like when plugins already come with a reverb, because that's usually not the best reverb of all time, especially when the plugin is not about making good reverb. It's just in the way, in my opinion. But anyway, let's just try to find a kit where all the reverbs are already disabled. Oh, that one had a lot of reverb, but here it made sense. Okay. Okay, so let's just take this one. I gotta say, the choice of samples in this plugin is quite old school, so I will later have to look at ways to import my own samples if that's possible. Or maybe I could just try that really quickly, because I want to find out if that's possible. My selection of samples is also old school, but at least I know it, so I know that I often want to use this kick, for example. Okay, cool, you can actually import other samples, and you can also fine-tune the sound. you can really hear the clickiness in the reverb. The individual delay lines, you can hear them, and that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense in this plugin. That's kind of nice. I would wish for something like an envelope as well. Or is it damp maybe? Okay, damp is kind of an envelope, like how quickly the envelope dampens down, apparently, which is a very nice way to simplify the concept of an ADSR envelope. In the case of a drum sampler, it's often AHD and AHDSR. In my case, I often like AHD, but just having damp is cool as well. Now I can go there and fine-tune some of my samples. Now I'm kind of wondering, can I mute all the other samples in a simple way? I cannot right click these to have further settings. Can I maybe shift click them? Alt click them? CTRL click them? No, these are just rhythms, right? No, that's the sounds, cool. Okay, that's good. And that's actually how you can use the reverb. Nice. Okay. I didn't like the crash, so. I think it would be cool if there was not just a compressor that makes it a little bit more dense, because that's already something that I use Drive for, but also a compressor that adds some clicky parallel compression. That would make sense in the context of drums, in my opinion. But since I don't find it, I want to know if I can route that out to some different tracks, multi-out maybe, then I could mix that after the plugin. I don't see that on the spot now, but I also didn't read the manual. What do we have here? Okay, the hi-hat. The attack knob doesn't have good range. When you turn it up only a little bit, it already starts to really get rid of the entire sound. This should have a better skewing so that small values have a bit more precision. Yeah, and maybe a text box that actually shows the length in milliseconds. That would be nice. Yeah, so that's really annoying because the text box doesn't show you any value change, but when you are sensitively dragging the parameter, you know that you're changing the value because you can hear it, but you really have to focus all on your hearing. You cannot see it in the text box, and that discrepancy really makes me lose a bit of focus here. So now we have a beat, and that's fill, so it's a different rhythm, I guess. Okay, I don't need to fill, but well, maybe not yet. Huh? Oh, okay. The one that you select is the one that you draw. Okay, nice. So let me try something. I want to make more slices into this thing. Okay, I can hold CTRL and drag. That is exactly what I expected to happen. Oh yeah, you can make it really precise. I don't even know if I can make use of it when it's that precise. Maybe I can do this and then I was kind of hoping that these would stay relative to their spot instead of absolute to their index, because I actually wanted just to have it go faster and faster till the end. Maybe a bit like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. Okay, let's just make like this. Okay, that's cool. I want to keep it a bit more simple here though. So it's easy to come up with normal rhythms already, but when you're going to the higher values, it's hard to still see where you are exactly. But that's a big challenge for making rhythms UI-wise accessible in general. Oops. Now it would be cool if I could drag this entire pizza to some other place. Like I want to have it here as well. You know, because all the space next to the circles is not even used. So that there could be buttons or draggables for dragging it to some other place maybe. Or I'm just not seeing where the feature is. What's this? Oh wow, what did I do? What? Actually, that was kind of cool. Now I want to find out how to wait. Okay, I deleted it by holding shift. Wait, maybe alt? Yes, alt is for velocity. Okay, that was kind of nice, cool. Can be hard to dial in something where there is a linear curve of velocity values. Let's make something easier. Now it would be cool if I could turn on the velocity of everything together so that I don't have to do this, which will probably sound a bit weird as well. I like that it kind of introduces some certain randomness, this workflow, that it's not very precise, but sometimes I like to be precise, and in that cases it would really make me feel a little bit slow. Anyway, my conclusion to the rhythm modules is that they have a unique workflow. Well, it's kind of hard to make a good conclusion about that. They're cool, but they have something that makes them not perfect as well, just like the other workflow. Normally, if you were to write notes and you wanted to have notes in there that are kind of specific, not just 16th, you would have to zoom in. And if you have a good DAW, then it will automatically adjust its grid so that you can make more detailed adjustments. But no DAW ever would automatically switch to trials and the other types of things. And this thing lets you do that instantly, so that's pretty cool. Normally, when you have something like swing in a DAW, you are saying to yourself, well, okay, I will now use the 16th swing, but therefore I will only use 16th notes and not 32th notes, because that kind of wouldn't make sense together with swing. But in the context of this plugin, you can just do that, and you have all these wildly different time signature thingies, yet you can dial in swing on all of them together, and it sounds weird. You can also use negative swing. Which is pretty cool. Negative swing is definitely something that I would like to see indoors as well and natively, because it's just a nice flavor to have. We could explore different time signatures, maybe. Maybe I could make this a 7/4 beat. Yeah, let's do that. This is from now on 7/4, and that means that a bar is ending here already. So that's also very cool. Plugins where you're sequencing drums should always have a feature like this where you can change the time signature, because drums is all about getting wild with rhythm. You can also add more of these thingies. Can you make a 420? 4? No, you can't. Well, okay, but can you actually make it 24 at least? Yeah, you can. So if you've seen that one video by Adam Neely where he composed a song in 420, well, you can at least compose in 24 now. Multi. Now, interesting, I enabled a mode called Multi where I can only hear the reverb on the master bus. I think I found the multi-channel out thing. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so now it's getting interesting. Well, Bitwig is a bit of a peculiar DAW when it comes to stuff like multi-sample outs. Oh, actually it's fine because you can put them on the mixer. Almost thought I had to work with that in a single chain. I wonder if I can actually replace what? Replace them? Yes. Ah! What is that? Okay, maybe Bitwig is a bit buggy on that side. Like, what the fuck? Okay, if I'm doing it fast enough, it works. Sometimes the Bitwig community claims that Bitwig is already a fully fledged DAW that works perfectly fine. I can only say to that, no. It is a great DAW. And if it wasn't great, I wouldn't use it, but there is so much you can do to make it way better. So much. And if you don't acknowledge that, then it's just because you haven't used a different DAW yet. Finally. Okay. Now I can finally do what I always wanted to do all the time already, which is putting a parallel compression on the snare. Actually, I want to make a layer of that, and that's something cool about Bitwig. If I'm talking shit about Bitwig, I also have to show you something cool, which is how you can just make layers of stuff. So I have the Kotelnikov layer now, and now I'm adding Bitwig's native compressor as a layer. Bitwig's native compressor is super fast. If you turn up the attack a lot, it still sounds super clicky, which is very useful in situations like this. Now I'm also dialing in some Pro C because I want to have lots of variety, whatever. So now let's try to dial them in together. Oh, I just realized, can I still change that to something else? Convert to FX layer, convert to instrument layer. No, I want to convert it to an XY pad thingy. But I can also just do it like this. Yeah. Okay, now I have something nice. The batteries of my mouse are empty. In the middle of setting up some parallel processing. Now let's go on with the kick. Actually, let's take the same setup for the parallel processing. What the fuck? I didn't copy it. Oh. Okay, so I cannot just copy this effect and put it into the effect chain of the kick, because something like that only works if there was already an effect in the chain that I can click, so that Bitwig knows that I want to put it after that effect. Bitwig developers, if you watch this, that is a bit of a flaw, but don't take it personally. It's just that I'm looking very detailedly about stuff. Now I would have liked to be able to actually put all of these into one group, because I actually am not in the mood to process them all separately. I don't think that the plugin can do that. Can it do that? Because therefore it would need a setting where you can root it yourself, and I don't see that here, so I would be surprised if it could do that. So let's just ignore that for now and maybe try to find a workaround that kind of works. Working with multi-outs in a plugin is really not the most desirable thing ever in this DAW, or maybe it's just because I haven't done that a lot yet. But let's stay realistically here. If I was to use this plugin in the future, I would probably not use it just for letting it run all the time by itself, because I like to have more control about the sounds that I'm generating. So I would bounce it into a new track. Nice. So now I have actually something that I can work with, where I can really see the waveform and have a bit more of an idea of what I'm even doing, which is very useful when mixing and composing on headphones, of course, since you cannot really hear how it would sound in the room. And now I'm actually seeing that it's a very transient sound that I designed, and probably that is the reason why it sounds a bit clicky. It needs a bit more body. So now I can remove Beatscholar from the track and go on with a completely different mindset, and that mindset could be that I'm smearing out the body a bit. And now I could further shape those transients by putting a saturator on it. Nice. I like how that really glues everything together. But I don't like what it does with the reverb, unfortunately. So I need to find a solution for that part of the drum set. Now I want to use a layer, and on this layer I'm using a bandpass filter again, because that is just the thing that I'm currently fascinated of. Just like Dan Worrell, I'm basically Dan Worrell from Wish. So this is my snare. It also has a bit of the kick in it, but it's mostly meant for the snare fundamental frequency. Yeah, let's try to smash this sound. Nice, 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 nice. Maybe put some feedback on it. Yeah, that would make sense. Because I know which note this is, I can just put feedback on it. Nice. That is just really nice. So now I have a dry drum set. I call it drums and I call it bass. And maybe I could be so lucky that it actually makes sense now to sidechain these against each other. That would be kind of cool if that actually worked out. So now to get back to topic, because as always it got pretty off topic with my postfix chain, and as you can tell, my work is mostly about postfix chains. I'm not so much about handling all the sound in the synthesizers in themselves. So naturally, when I was still dabbling around in Beatscholar, I got a sound that I personally wasn't too fond of at that moment yet. It's kind of confusing that sometimes it sounds a bit cheap with that reverb and stuff like that, and that it's hard to dial in complex rhythms without making it sound too weird. But at some point I got something that I really liked, and it was unique, and that is also unique to what I usually do when I'm writing rhythms, especially with this negative swing setting and stuff, which is something that really fascinates me. I like how easy it is to dial in some effects. Those are not the best effects ever, but it's really cool to set the tone quickly and stuff like that. So there is really some benefit to using a plugin like this to just making the basics of your sound. And I was really glad when I found out that you can actually set this to multi-out, so that I could tweak it a little bit further, so that it actually made sense to bounce it out to a new loop and post-process it hard to, you know, just fit whatever I was thinking. And now if I bounce that out to a new track, which sounds cool. Even though I will definitely also bounce out one loop where I don't have the bass line. Oh, what the fuck. Not Beatscholar, please, not now. Yes. Maybe I will make a version that is sort of in between this bounce and that bounce. For example, I like about that bounce that the feedback doesn't really start at the beginning yet. Poof, whop. That's something that I would like to hear a bit more in that loop. So I will probably do that after I recorded this video, and then I will edit this video. So yeah, I made a unique loop, unique rhythms and good sounds in the end. So what is there more to ask from a drum plugin, right?